Hey, sports fan, this is Craig Bennett, aka Cash K here, back for another NBA Prize Picks video. Knocked out an early one this morning. If you want to check that out, I'll drop the link at the end of this video. And again, I found 5 picks that I kind of like on this main Prize Picks card here. Again, I did the early one because there's only a few games. But overall, a small 5-game slate where the games aren't that great, I would play lower on your bankroll. Just throwing that out there. It's not a super great slate. I'm not going to play heavy at all today. I really like the weekend games that we had, and we got some bigger slates coming up. But this slate's just kind of ugly, but I'm still going to give you some picks that you still want to knock out and play them, and I'll give the reasoning behind them. But again, I just want to let you know that it's not one of my favorite slates on the board, so keep that in mind when making your choices. So if you like this video, hit that like button for me if it provides value, subscribe to the channel, and hopefully we can win some money tonight. So with that, let's jump into it. All right, as you can see, like always, I have the Prizepicks desktop version up here. If you don't have an account, head on over to prizepicks.com and use the promo code DFSArmy and get that 100% instant deposit match up to $100. The link is in the description below. Like I said, this is a funky one here, man. Looking and trying to find some extra plays here. You know, we've got 5 games on tap. The Toronto and Charlotte game is probably going to be one of the better ones. I got one play in that one. But then we got like Golden State against OKC, with OKC like really beat up. And so there's a couple plays I think we can look in that just with attrition and bodies, right? And then we got the Knicks playing Utah, which is Utah's favored by 7.5. Miami and Washington. Miami's only favored by 3.5, but they don't have Hero, and Butler's questionable. So there's a lot of mess in these games here. So there's just a lot of uncertainty. Same thing, kind of Phoenix, Chicago. We don't know about Levine or White. So I'm trying to stay away from some of these plays that could screw us if some news hits. So I'm kind of going to go over plays that aren't going to be based so much on the news, but I think we can still find some value here. So with that being said, the first play we're going to go here, we're going to go over to assist. And we're actually going to go to Steph Curry, and we're going to go over 7 assists here. Going up against OKC, like I said, they are massive 11.5-point favorites here. Or sorry, 12.5-point favorites now. 210.5 over under. Should easily crush this OKC team here. And it's just, I don't think he's going to have to force the ball scoring, right? He's got Wiggins, he's got Klay Thompson, where I think he's going to get more involved, just getting those guys involved. It's not where he's got to take over the scoring load, and that's why I'm kind of leaning this over assist. Plus, if we look at it, he's went over this mark in 7 of his last 10 games. Like I said, the matchup is great. OKC is 22nd in the NBA in assists allowed. They're just a beat up team. I think he can easily get this. We look at some of the assist numbers against OKC. 2 days ago, Tyrese Halliburton put up 17 assists against these guys. And so when you get a really good point guard, you know, like Steph Curry, where he's got his buddies and his running mate, you know, his splash brother, Klay Thompson, which is going to be actually the next pick we're going to talk about here. I think he gets this pretty easily. Even if he plays 3 quarters, I still think he gets this. I think he could get it at half, just how I see the game playing out. And a lot of these plays, when you're looking at picks, you have to kind of, you know, picture and paint how that game is going to play out. And I think, again, they're going to stomp them, but I don't think Curry's going to be looking for a shot as much as looking to get his other guys involved. That just feels more of a game like that. So, again, like if you look at these against Houston, a game they should easily win, looking to get them involved, you know, Sacramento, things like that. So, again, we're going to go the over here. He's hit it 7 of the last 10 times. That's the first pick on the board. Second one, again, we're going to go with the splash brother here. We're actually going to go over to three-pointers made, and we're going to go here to Klay Thompson. If you know, I've talked about these on some videos. I don't get too excited about ever taking the over on 3-pointers because it's just one of those plays that it can go a number of different ways. But on a slate like this where it's tough, I'm going to look where the numbers are pointing us, right? And you know how I see if Steph Curry is really getting his guys involved and he's pushing that ball out and letting Klay Thompson and those guys get going, then these 2 plays correlate really well. So Klay Thompson over 2.5 threes. OKC's defense, they're 24th in the league in 3-pointers allowed. Their defense is horrible against shooting guards, 26th in the NBA. He's put up 9, 8, 8, and 9 3-pointers over his last 4 games. He's went over this mark in 5 of his last 10 games. It's just one of those things where, his minutes are starting to ramp up a little bit more. He's playing, closer to 27 minutes. Last game against Sacramento only played 24 minutes, but before that, 26, 27, 27, 26. So his minutes are up there, and he's going to shoot threes. That's what he does. We all know that. In an easy matchup like this, I think he'll look to get his shot going. So we're going to lean the over 2.5 3-pointers here. The next one we're going to go to is we're going to go over to rebounds. And one play that's just been hitting constantly, and we've hit this a few times, and we're going to go back to the well with it. Going up against Toronto here, we're going to go Mason Plumlee over 8.5 rebounds. Toronto's defense, they're 14th in the league in rebounds allowed, 28th and ranked against the defense against center. And he's hit this in 5 out of his last 5 games and 8 out of his last 10. It's just continue on those things where I'm just going to keep attacking it. His minutes have been pretty decent for him. He's averaged around 30 minutes a game over his last 5. He played Toronto back on January 25th, where he had 9 rebounds, and he actually played 32 minutes that game. So it's one of those things where I think he can get this number. How well he's been playing, they're going to need his size. I mean, even in tough matchups against Boston and Miami, he put up 17 and 10. So as long as, we're just going to ride the hot streak here, averaging over 13 rebounds over his last 5, 10.5 over his last 10. On a card like this, I think we got to look at things like this. So we're going to go over 8.5 rebounds for Mason Plumlee. The next one we're going to go here is kind of odd. It's in rebounds, right? Yesterday, we were all about the assists, and we crushed those. Today seems to be more about the rebounds for me. Now, let me talk about these 2 plays real quick, because how I talked about Steph Curry and Klay Thompson, those 2 picks, the over 7 assists and over 2.5 3-pointers made, kind of correlated. These don't really correlate, but this has to do more with the war of attrition, right? The OKC side, right? Mike Muscala is out. Alexei Pogoshevsky, he is doubtful. Isaiah Roby is out. Lou Dort is questionable. They don't have any bigs. They just don't have any bigs. Like, Diakite's going to start next to Bazley, and Favors is going to back up Diakite. And Favors is old. He's not going to play a ton of minutes. So in a blowout, it's still going to be Bazley and Diakite. These guys are going to play a ton, right? So these numbers to me are just too low. Even in a blowout, I'm not looking for them to score because they're going against a good defense. I'm just looking for them to get some rebounds. Hopefully some 3-pointers are missed. It's not a good matchup, but you got to sometimes look into it as how many bodies that they just really do have. And if Dort plays, they got 9 bodies. If he doesn't play, they got like 8. And like I said, 3 of them are big men. So they're going to be on the court a ton, So the first one we're going to look here is Bazley over 7.5 rebounds. Now, again, it's not a great matchup, where Golden State's 3rd in the league against, in rebounds allowed. But the minutes have just been massive, 37, 35, 35, where he's, put up 7, 12, 11 rebounds in those matchups. So that's when he's been playing a ton of minutes over those last 3. He should have had that one in Sacramento. He played almost 40 minutes. I know because we had the Bazley over there and he just missed it. But we're going to go right back here with this number, just with a sure volume of minutes he's going to play and hopefully the rebounds he's going to get. So this is more of a team that doesn't have a lot of people, and we need to attack this. So again, we're going to take Darius Bazley over 7.5 rebounds. And again, like I said, this is not a very big correlation. If you want to take one of these over the other, I understand that as well. But we're going to take Diakite over 6 rebounds. Same kind of thing, same concept, right? They don't have a lot of bigs. He's hit this in 3 over his last 3 games. Again, once Earl Robinson went down, he's just had to step in and play more minutes and start. Now, the minutes haven't been massive in those 3 games, 24, 30, and 17. But I think he's got to play 26 to 30 here, right? And he's hit over on those 3 games that we had no Earl Robinson. So I don't think the books are taking that into account, looking at the hard matchup. I get it. But he's going to be out there, in a team that shoots a ton of threes. The opportunity for rebounds is plentiful. So I'm just going to lean the over on both these guys. If you want to take one or the other, I'd probably lean Diakite over Bazley, just because it's a lower rebound number. But Bazley's going to play more minutes, more likely. So, and like I said, I'm okay with both of them. They're both low enough numbers with the amount of minutes they're going to play that I'd play either one of them. So that's where we're going to lean. Again, picks are Steph Curry over 7 assists, Klay Thompson over 2.5 3-pointers made, Mason Plumlee over 8.5 rebounds, Darius Bazley over 7.5 rebounds, and Diakite over 6 rebounds. Again, OKC is hurting in the front court here, and they should get smashed. And again, if Dort sits, it's even better. But even if he plays, these guys are going to have to play a ton. So I still like these plays regardless. But again, play light this card. It's not one of my favorite cards. Hopefully we'll have some bigger cards coming up here. But the smaller the games, the harder it is to find value. So always keep that in mind as we play here. So with that, again, appreciate each and every one of you. Thanks for all the comments. I try to answer as many as I can get to. It's starting to be more and more, so I try to get to them as much as I can. But thanks for watching. Appreciate you guys. Have a fantastic Monday, and I will see you on the flip side. Deuces.